In today's video, I'm going to explain how many new built properties sold last month and why in detail it is a 217% increase as compared to August of 2019. As always, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Realtron Realty Inc. You can get in touch with me. My contact info in the description box as well. Feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. I always bring the latest market trend stats and analyze them in an objective fashion, along with all the other type of videos I make. What your money can buy, explaining tenancy laws, 5 things you should know about this, 5 things you should know about that. So let's skip all that, subscribe, comment, rate, and review, and let's get to the video. So about 4,539 new homes sold last month, being August. This is being recorded September 2020. We're talking about the market stats as of August for new properties, newly built. So that's a very clear point to focus on right now. Not resale. I know resale and newly built seem to be obvious in terms of differences, but you'd be surprised how often my clients make that mistake. Just because a resale is brand new doesn't mean it's a newly built home. 4,539 newly built properties, up 217% compared to the August of 2019. Furthermore, 119% increase as compared to the 10-year average preceding these numbers. Now this is in the GTA, which is a pretty large landscape, but nothing outside of the GTA is included or factored into these numbers. Of these 4,500 properties, about 2,600 of them were condominium units, whether it's low-rise, high-rise, mid-rise, stacked townhouses, whatever it may be. About 2,600 of this 4,500 figure were condominium units, which respectively was up 159%. Now, I've made many videos about how the condo market, both for rents and purchase to sale, is dipping, especially downtown, but everywhere else as well. This number may come to a surprise to you. It doesn't come to a surprise to me. I'm going to explain a little bit further in the analysis portion of this video. I'm going to explain a little bit later in this video in the analysis portion why this figure is not contradictory to my larger argument that condo market has been dipping everywhere, specifically downtown, which is the most pronounced there. So stay tuned for that, but let's go through the numbers a little bit more. Single family, detached, and semi-detached saw the biggest jump of this newly built properties by a factor of 355%. So compared to last August, newly built properties for the property types of single, detached, and semi-detached, more were sold by a factor of 355%. Now let's break down these numbers. Let's start with the single, detached, and detached properties. And my hypothesis is the fact that it has to do with the pent-up supply, if anything. Because a lot of these builders, when they build a new property, they don't usually, unless, given the market conditions in the area in the community, right? You want to get as granular and specific as you can, but generally speaking, a lot of times they don't actually sell the unit off the bat. What they do is they perhaps rent it for a short-term period and have someone take occupancy, or in some cases they even themselves take occupancy and then sell it when the market conditions are right or they have the right offer in front of them. For that reason, when I say pent up supply, I foresee a case where a lot of these new built properties were under construction obviously before COVID, or maybe started construction around there and perhaps ended construction while the economy and the real estate market was rebounding, and they held off until things were opening up and the economy was more conducive to selling at a higher price. And as we went through the August market stats, you can go watch that video. Everything is pretty much up, so now they're selling it at the right time. So that's what I mean by pent up supply. And of course there's always pent up demand, right? Not so much right now for rental markets or condos, whether it's lease or purchase, but generally speaking, Toronto as a city, as a real estate market, really, unfortunately, and somewhat thrives on a lack of supply and a influx of demand. So that's regarding single detached and semi-detached and newly built properties. That's my hypothesis, and obviously a lot of other things involved as well. With regards to the condominiums, let's get into that. So now I've made plenty of videos explaining why the condo market's down for both lease, for both purchase and sale, explaining all the market forces at play, mainly supply, the fact that there's too much supply, too much inventory, not enough demand to match it, both in condo, purchase and sale, and leases, and a bunch of other different reasons that I explain in detail in those videos, so go watch those. And for those reasons, the prices have dipped for both purchase and sale and leases. And you may wonder, well, if this is the case, if it is the case, as I'm reading off my laptop, that 2,609 units sold of this 4,500 units, which is a 159% increase, and those units were condos, how can it possibly be that the condo market is struggling? Well, first things first, I speak from experience as well. I have a condo for sale, and right now it's a bit difficult to get the right price for that condo. So it's not just me crunching all the numbers. I'm speaking from both on the field and, in theory, with all the numbers available to me. Furthermore, this is not to be confused with a percentage increase of price. This is a percentage increase of units sold. In theory, you can have an inverse relationship. You can have more units sold for less average price. So just because there's more units sold does not necessarily mean that being sold for a higher price. If anything, some cases there have been selling for a lower price. In those videos that I aforementioned, in many of them I said condos are up, they're just not up in speed, or rather in the same pace that every other property type is up. That's important to note as well. Lastly, and this is the most important thing to note, is that a lot of these new built condos, I would say majority of them, are pre-construction units that are only being rendered into the stats right now. A lot of these sold units, these new condo units, the actual transaction part of it, the negotiating, the signing of the contract, all of that occurred sometimes 3 to 4 years ago. And now that they're complete and taken occupancy and the condominium corporation has been incorporated, now they're being rendered into the numbers. As always, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, rate, and review. And my contact information is in the description box. Feel free to get in touch, ask me any questions you have, and provide constructive feedback. I'm always open to that. Thank you.